Okay, today we are prepping for a shoot with TVU Network and Nmplol. We're kind of doing a scout slash setting up light day. That way we can be prepared for the shoot that's coming up on Tuesday. We are going to be showing you the behind the scenes of what it looks like to set up this interview with Nick, but also what it took to get the B-roll of his Escalade, which is what this shoot is kind of all about. Every good shoot starts with scouting and prepping. We are at a studio where NMP's interview will take place and figuring out the look and game plan for the shot. Really cool things about being able to be here the day before the shoot is that OTK has all of the lights set up to the iPad over here, and so it's kind of like a DP's dream to be able to like adjust the lights exactly how you want them to be. And especially since the lights are already set up on a grid, and I set up a 300X on the C stand with a spotlight attachment, or I guess with the gobo attachment, and I had this window effect. Ideally, I'd have like some kind of foliage in front of it, but I think it looks good enough. So we have general dimensions of the Escalade. I don't know which specific model he has, but we wanted to get like an estimate of the size of the vehicle. So I just marked down with some tape where that vehicle is going to be. But we're probably going to ship it some more this way, and then once we see the actual car, then we'll have a better idea of where exactly to put it, but we kind of wanted to estimate just so that we can kind of see where our lighting needs to be for the interview. We're testing out this car mount that we have for the TVU X Nmplol shoot, and so we wanted to get a couple of rollers of his Escalade. So this is the setup. We rented a Tilta Hydra Alien, and then connected to this we have the RS4 Pro with an FX3, and we're basically just utilizing autofocus for this shoot just to make it a little bit easier on ourselves and to be a little bit more budget friendly for this particular shoot. And then connected to the mount is Solomon's phone with the Ronin app so that we can connect it to the Ronin and control it with an Xbox controller. Because we tried connecting this from inside, but I just think there was just too much stuff going on in between for it to connect, and so it was losing connection. I couldn't really control the gimbal head as fluidly. And so we found this as a solution where we mounted the phone outside of the car, which seemed a little sketchy at first, but this mount seems really sturdy. At least for this application, it worked just fine, and I haven't lost any connection from the app to the gimbal, which was really important for me. I'm testing out the rig right now that we have set up. We are using an imaging app to remotely see and control the autofocus of the FX3, and then I'm using an Xbox controller, which is connected to that phone out there, because when we had the phone inside, it was losing connection with the gimbal, but now it's a lot easier to do this since it's not losing connection. Now I can move this camera around, and so like if I turn left, it's not perfect, the latency is not going to be perfect, but it's pretty much good enough for like any of these kind of car rolling shots. Now that we have the car mount dialed in, we are prepping to drive up to Block Studio in Fort Worth to shoot product shots tomorrow morning. We load up the stands on one side, and then we put the cart on the other side fully built, and then pack any lights around, and then also we'll throw a camera in here. And this van is just about the right size for what we need. As soon as we arrive to start, we set up the FX6, that way we can see how the image is looking as we set up lights on the products. Shooting on a video wall is not too bad, you just need one big enough so you can pull your camera away from the wall to avoid seeing pixels and separate lighting. For setting up the products themselves, I bought a 12-inch turntable on Amazon along with a tabletop from IKEA to place on top of that for more surface area. Austin, the other guy, is their tech, and he was incredibly helpful. I was not expecting him to be so hands-on, but he helped us set up stands, apple boxes, and other grip equipment when we needed it. Okay, for lighting, an Astera tube set to green for edge lighting the products and motivating the background green colors. Amaran F21C pointed down from above with a grid. On the left of frame is a Aperture Nova P300C with the grid. We also set up floppies on the left and right side between our lighting and the wall. Grids and negatives are incredibly important because we do not want any light spilling into the video wall. This would wash out the contrast and color of the wall itself and make it harder to blend the background with the foreground. Now we just get as many angles as we can. So just loaded in the Escalade for the setup. Got some lights going, some more. Turn on the ones in the back that we set up a couple days ago. And then got our AC mat, setting up the camera. What's up, baby? We have him back for another shoot, so should be a good day. Okay, this is what the setup is starting to look like. We got Sutton in the back there. For the setup, we're doing two FX6s. We're doing one where it's a little bit zoomed in, both using the 24-70. And then we got this, the classic 600X for a key. And for fill, we have the F21C to the right. And it looks like it's set to like 4,000 or 3,200. One of those numbers. And then we have the hair light with the Astera tube. Could you look right here, son, for a second?
Right there.
Yeah, just right here. So this, yeah, it is. I might get another one. So this is Sutton in frame right now. That's what it's looking like. I guess for audio, what are you using for the mic?
This is the Rode MTG5 short shotgun mic for a little bit less reverb. It's got little circular interference tube holes, so that's pretty stylish.
Nice.
And I'm going into a Zoom F8.
There are a bunch of these though, so I can.
So to light the Escalade, Sutton rigged up the 600X up there with Matthew. And we just had the light dome, the aperture lantern on there. And then we're setting up an Aperture Nova to kind of get more of a backlight onto this Escalade. Up there are two 60Xs, and I just repositioned them so that they could hit the car as well. All right, so we've added, Matthew taped up some tube lights under. We got 3 of them going at green, all at 100% intensity. TVU's colors are green, so we wanted to add some sort of color that reflected that within the shot.
Well, howdy. Making it spick and span.
Nice.
Could you move the ladder a little bit that way? Yeah.
It's looking good, Zach.
Thank you, man. You know, I take a lot of pride in my window washing.
That's good.
I've done it all my life.
Yeah, we just hired Zach on just for
Just
this.
for this. This is my one purpose.
No, he's got bigger purposes.
I clean doors too.
Lighting, audio, and frame is now set, and now it is time to bring in NMP for his interview.
Back in the old days, it was like you had this one battery you had to charge, and you had to take it out, and you had to unplug all these things and plug it back in. It was so annoying. But you know, the new, like the backpack itself, it's lighter. You know, it's just so user friendly. I'm not even sure if you guys even planned it to be that way, but it really was like just everything about it's the best, really.
I guess could you touch on that again too?
As you can see, you know, you can pretty much see the whole car just from, you know, this front point of view.
One thing we did not think about was that the tint used for vehicles have a little bit of color in them, enough to throw off the tint of the lighting. Inside the car we used Astera tubes, and for Nick's key we pushed a 600X through the windows, but it ended up being too green on his face compared to the tubes inside because we did not set the tint of the tubes to offset the tint of the windows. So in post, Zach color corrected Nick from this to this.
Normally we actually put the backpack right down here, you know, in the back, you know.
In the back, Nick uses action cams for alternate angles, so I used the same ones for the interview. They aren't the best quality, and I really needed to push more light into the car, but they weren't good enough to show what it looks like on stream. Okay, so now we're on to the driving portion and getting the roller shots for TVU and Nick's Escalade. And right now what we have is Nick right in front of us, but behind us we have Robbie kind of directing the shots on a director's monitor that Matt has provided. And Matt is doing ACing, so he's controlling kind of where the camera is going to focus on. It's not like a traditional follow focus, but with the imaging app, I guess they call it the creators app now, on the Sony FX3, you can touch where you want the focus to be. So. Yeah, just like that. And that's a good spot right there. Pull up just a little bit more ahead. Yeah. And Solomon, you can go, you can slow down a little bit. Oh, never mind. We're coming up to the light, so we'll just hold for a second. After this light, we're gonna pull ahead of you. So Solomon, you can change lanes when you can. Just get ahead of Nick. Come up closer, Nick.
It's coming to a red light.
Oh, okay. And we're coming up to a red light. I feel like we got a good amount already.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good today.
Okay, we're gonna head back to the studio. We are on the last part of today's shoot. We're getting some drone footage of the Escalade. Got Sutton out here with the courtesy flag and Robbie drone hopping.
Dropping.
Dropping. We got the rest of the crew over here. It's been a pretty smooth shoot so far. And then we have, you know, Matt's always so good about bringing director's monitors. Luckily we have something to give the client. Oh, this is cool. And now we wrap up day 2 and prepare for day 3 with Cyr.
Yeah, so I think today we're going to be playing, I think we're doing 24 hours of League of Legends, so I'm really looking forward to... Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Let me walk you through my TVU experience. Nice.
TVU wanted to get extra footage of Cyr for their social media, so the goal was to get Cyr to talk about the backpack since he uses it for his IRL streams. We used the FX6 for the main wide angle and the FX3 with the zoom for the close-ups. For this intro, we took the 600X outside, mounted a Fresnel, and shot it through his window. For the key, we boomed the Amaran F21C overhead and then used one of his panel lights for a hair light. For lighting this main portion of his overview of the backpack, we just used the 600X with the light dome for a key, and then the Amaran F21C and the snare tube for edge lights.
It's the ultimate traveling backpack. If you don't have it, I personally will think that you're not a good streamer. If you aren't using this, you could possibly really be missing out on a seamless streaming experience. If you like IRL streaming, this will make things significantly easier for you.
If you like the videos or have any questions, feel free to comment and leave a like. If you want to see more, please subscribe and we'll see you on the next one.
It's a wrap, right?